Failing the PMP exam is something you don't want to experience. Lots of money and, moreover, a lot of time that you cannot ever regain go down the drain. Once upon a time, there was a student who didn't do too well on the exam, and I was wondering, what can we do to get this student in a better state? So jointly, we came up with this idea of an Excel file that will help track progress, that will help track what happened on the exam and how you can do better. I put together a page called the PMP Exam Failure Stamp Out page, purposely for people who have failed the PMP exam to help them in their efforts to do better on their next attempt. You may have heard of the PMP Exam Failure Stamp Out page. I'm going to put a link below. If you have failed the exam in the past, there is help in this page because it helps you assess what might have gone wrong, which processes do you need to improve on, and so on. So I'm going to show you that page right now. And here is the PMP Exam Failure Stamp Out page. When you get to the page, you realize there's a PMP recovery plan. But in addition to the recovery plan, which I'll explain in a minute, there are many other interesting parts of the page to help you. Why did you fail the exam? Zero in on the reasons why this happens. This helps you focus. Why did this happen? What do I need to do differently? The best things of life are free. Air is free, water is free. One of the best things to help people who have failed is free. I put it out for free. Right now, you can access this page for $0 and watch all of the videos. A lot of folks have watched these videos to help them on their next attempt. If you look at this page as being free and therefore not worth anything, you might be missing out on one of the best things out there to help anyone that has failed this exam. I put time, effort, and attention into this solution to help people. Many have jumped on board and used it. All you need to do is go to the page, watch a video for each domain. Initiating has a video. This is the video right here for initiating. And I do a task to process mapping, as you can see, going through how to use this recovery plan. So let's take a look at the recovery plan that I talked about. This is the recovery plan. For every domain, you've got tasks. If you have not read the PMP exam content outline, this could also be one of the reasons why you didn't know what the exam was based on. It's not based on the PMBOK guide, but it's based on a number of tasks that you expected to perform, and those map back to the PMBOK guide and other literature. My advice to you would be to look at the areas you didn't do well on. So you take your exam result, you go through the table, you fill in those that are yellow, you were medium on the task, those that are red, you were low on the task, those that are green, you were high on the task, and then you want to look at a high level at the entire map, and you'll be able to see all of those where you have reds, all of those where you have yellows. This helps you focus more on the problem areas. Focusing on the problem areas and watching the videos that explain why each process is relevant to a task will help you better prepare for your next attempt. And it goes all the way to closing, and there are many other videos here to help you with your efforts. I'm yet to see a page or an entity dedicated to helping those who have failed. This is to help you. So please use it. From December 16th, 2019, this will become a little bit obsolete. Not completely, but just a little bit, because there are tweaks taking place on the exam that will not map the exam back to the recovery plan. So now is the time to use the recovery plan. After going through the recovery plan, my suggestion is try to do something extra than your first attempt. In other words, if you tried many things that obviously didn't work on your first attempt, don't do those same things on your next attempt. On your next attempt, you may want to be a little bit more creative in how you study, a little bit more intentional about how you study. Where people say, oh, don't read this PMBOK guide, you may actually want to make the PMBOK guide one of the major things you focus on. Focus on the PMBOK guide. Focus on your study guide. This is a study guide from Praizion. Study with your Agile practice guide, especially the first few chapters that define Agile and give you an idea of the predictive, iterative, incremental, that whole spectrum, hybrid, all that stuff. I would suggest that you go above and beyond where you did the first or second try or third try. Look, it is possible for you to kill the exam. Absolutely. So if you are beginning to doubt yourself, let me give you a ray of hope. Let me give you some encouragement to share some stories with you. A student had taken the exam not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, 7 times over a decade. Kept getting up, found us, jumped on the bandwagon, and on his final attempt, he did all that he was asked to do, including taking the mocks, jumped on it, killed the exam. PMP today. Another student had to take it 5 excruciating times. Tried everything under the sun until on the 5th try, discovered a tool on the exam, the strikeout functionality tool. This student could hardly believe how efficient this strikeout tool was to help him. Now, I don't know if the strikeout and the highlighter tools are still available at Pearson. I know at Prometric they were. So I'm not saying this to point out that those tools have gone, but I'm saying this to help you see that there's always that master key. For someone else, the strikeout tool might be nothing. For that student, it might be the master key. For someone else, it may be something totally different. Many students say, Phil, I wish I had found your course earlier because that is what helped me. Some people say, my study buddy. There was a student of ours a few months ago, you might have watched his breakdown of lessons learned. Rene, he said his study buddy was that factor that helped him prepare. And he took the exam before his study buddy. His study buddy is now a PMP as well. I have seen many students find that master key, that thing that makes them understand where it went wrong. And I'm encouraging you to take a look at this page, the PMP exam failure stamp out page, and let that be the beginning of your research as to why you failed the exam. That's really it. Focusing on why you failed. How did it happen? What should I do differently? What didn't I know the first time? What didn't I hone in on the first time? That is why I put this page together for you, okay? So I want you to go to the page. You see it in the link below. Do what you need to do. One more story, and then I'll close for the day. I have recently had a student who failed on the 5th edition come on board for the 6th edition, pass the exam. This student felt it was almost impossible, but stayed in there, came back for a boot camp with me, jumped on the learning management system, drank the Kool-Aid, if you will, embraced the suck, did everything, and finally got certified in the past 6 months. Another student of mine out of Philadelphia took the course and did nothing with it for a year. A year and a couple of months after, passed the exam and didn't say nothing to me until about 6 months after that and said, Phil, oh, by the way, I passed the exam. I'm telling you, you can be the next success story. Student who failed on a Tuesday said, Phil, I know where I went wrong. I didn't relax. I didn't rest. Took the exam on a Saturday, 5 above targets. I've shared this countless times on the channel. Another student failed in similar time frame on the 5th edition. Jumped on the bandwagon after going through my plethora of videos on YouTube. Killed the exam. 5 ATs. It is doable. You just need to find that special combination. Okay? So the purpose of this video is to give you some hope that you can absolutely do it. Just ask those who I've told you about. They'll tell you. They were inspired by watching the videos, going to the failure stamp out page, downloading the Excel file, analyzing what they had done wrong, and boom, they did it. Okay? So I want to encourage you. I feel your pain. I know the frustration. It's time that you've spent and you don't want it to go down the drain. I applaud you in staying this far. If you've watched the video this far, it means you really want to find that master key, and I applaud you. But you need to take the next step to watch all of those videos on the free page, go through every single one of them, go through your results if you've done it multiple times, find out the pattern, where they're patterns. And you know, I've got your back. I'll do everything possible to help you. Some of you are not ready because you've not gone above and beyond like I'm asking you to. Look, many people out there will tell you to forget the PMBOK guide. The PMI also will tell you the exam is not based entirely on the PMBOK guide. FYI. But you know what I'll tell you? If you have the tolerance for ambiguity that many people experience when reading this book, that will help you get your PMBOK guide muscle for the exam. It will. I've heard it all before. No, I don't need to read the PMBOK guide. Look, you are increasing your tolerance for ambiguity, your tolerance for pain. Read the thing. So the language that you find on the exam is not esoteric. If you read this thing called the PMBOK guide, the language becomes easier, more bearable, but you got to read it with an intent to truly learn and grasp what the PMI is saying in the book. You got to read the PMBOK guide. You got to dissect the PMBOK guide. Don't read it like a robot. Don't. Read it like a researcher who is researching the future success. Let me give you a few pages very quick that people often glaze over that I think you need to put into your gig bag for your next attempt. The first page of interest is none other than page 25. Page 25 needs to be understood, but not just that. For every process, I want you to map the outputs on that same page. So when you're drawing out page 25 on a whiteboard, on a sheet of paper, you got to zero in to finding those unique outputs, those outputs that come from that process and no other process. For example, plan scope management. A lot of folks in the beginning, they're clueless about requirements, the requirements management plan. They don't know that the requirements management plan comes from plan scope management. You know, that is one thing to watch out for, and many more like that. So for every process, don't just tell me, oh, Phil, I can do the 25 brain dump. No, that's elementary. Go to the next level and tell me the unique outputs. Right there on the whiteboard, right there on the page, get a big enough whiteboard so you can chart out each unique output. This will help you. And then after you've gone over that level, You want to chart out those unique tools and techniques. Decomposition, it's used in a couple of places. Where is it used? Product analysis, where is it used? Inspection, where are the places it's used? You need to get to that level of precision. Logical data models, do you remember where that is used? Everything that is unique in the PMBOK guide needs to be up here. You need to know what those are. Unique tools and techniques, unique outputs. Where do you find these unique tools and techniques? Page 686 to page 694. If you have not honed in on those pages and read from page 686 all the way on down, seeing, all right, what are these tools and techniques? What are they really? Define them. Have you ever sat down to define each tool and technique and you realize, oh, I don't know what that is? Go back, open up the book, read it, research it. These days, the amount of knowledge on the web is ridiculous. It's been encapsulated into information. You can find almost any PMBOK guide ITTO example on the web. There is no excuse for you to tell me, oh, I don't know what multi-criteria decision analysis is. It is so all over the place. Take a look. Or you tell me, oh, I'm struggling with a control chart. Search for it. Research. It's everywhere. It's in the study guides. It's online. It's on the ASQ website. If you haven't been to asq.org, if you haven't been to tiny.cc/Sigma PMO, the website I talk about ad nauseum on this channel from the CDC, check these things out. These are building blocks that lead to your success. Just ask my students who have drunk the Kool-Aid. You got to do these things. Page 686 to 694, if you study those pages like no man's business, trying to find what don't I know, where are the weaknesses, you'll succeed. Look, there's no master key, or I should say, no fake master key. The master key is hard work, but a lot of people are looking for a fake master key that gets them to the front of the line. No, it's hard work and intentionality. That is your master key. But looking for a shortcut, to get some fake master key, there's no fake master key. Only the real master key to success. Okay, and the real master key to success is going the full mile. A few more pages before I jump off here. I would also advise page 9, hone in on page 9, understand, what makes projects exist, why are projects authorized, and then you want to build on that to understand page 28, tailoring, page 29, business documents, page 30, the business case, which a lot of people don't focus on. Know your business case, know your benefits management plan, page 33, project success measures that will help you, page 37, EEFs and OPAs, and that goes all the way to page 41, all the way to the end of page 41. And then going into chapter 3, you want to understand chapter 3. In fact, everything there is useful. The talent triangle, page 56, 57, 58, 59, 60. Basically, my chapter 3 is so marked up. If you take a look, you can see how marked up it is with highlighter, because everything in chapter 3 is so useful, okay? You got to read your chapter 3. And then when you get to chapter 4, you got to begin looking for those unique outputs, okay? I took time out of my busy schedule to put this together to help someone who's struggling. I don't want you to struggle. I want you to have direction. I want you to have focus, okay? Last but not least, you need to be on a solid course. Don't tell me I've been for training before, because obviously something was loose in the training you went for. I need you to be on a course that will immerse you into this world while putting you into the world of reality. We make it pragmatic. We've got templates and examples for many of the outputs in this book. And lastly, we've got a module that focuses on Agile. We don't leave you high and dry. We put you into the world of Agile as well on this course. Which course am I talking about? You need to go to the Praizion site, praizion.com, hit the site. We've got two options. We've got online self-study, we've got online live. Online live, you need to check in to see when the next one will be, but self-study, I recommend it because even if you come on board the online live, guess what? You also get the learning system under this track. So click on that and you'll see the PMP exam online self-study. I highly advise you coming aboard this program, going through it from start to end. This will amplify your efforts. It will help you beyond where you are today, okay? It's not enough for me to tell you, find out why you failed without giving you a solution to study strong. You need to study strong. This solution will give you all sorts of great features. There's a study for each chapter in the PMBOK guide. There's a study for Agile. There's a study for professional responsibility. There's the ITTO spreadsheet for sorting ITTOs. There's study aids that you get, such as the Essentials book in PDF, so you don't have to lug around so many books. But there is a plethora of options on this course. Do not waste your time going to other solutions. This solution has everything you need to do great. So if you've been struggling, perhaps you need to think about leaving the systems that have not worked for you behind and coming aboard a system that has worked for so many individuals. I have students from all over the world, various industries, various facets of government that have passed. Students from NASA, students from the FBI, from the US Army and the Army Corps, and many companies that you know. You cannot go wrong if you do what you need to. And what you need to do is a deep immersion, all right? So come on board that system, and I know that you will find a ton of things that you had no visibility or idea about, okay? Those of you who feel it's down to the wire, it's too close, just click for more products. Like when you go to the website, click the link that says more products. That will take you to this page, and you can find some other auxiliary products to help you in your study. Many of them are on demand. Just do what you need to do, all right? So it's not enough for me to tell you, correct your errors. What about studying for the exam? I got to get you covered in that regard. And this is how you'll be covered, right? By learning from content that is tested and tried. All right, it's your friend Phil here, just keeping it real, trying to help someone who has failed the exam get back on the horse and ride. You know, I cannot tell you how much pleasure I get from hearing from students who have failed, but they came aboard our system, they watched our videos, or maybe it was one thing I said on the channel that helped them ace the exam. Great experience. I love it when I get those results and positive results, okay? So don't forget, go to the PMP exam failure stamp out first, watch the videos, download the Excel sheet, diligently go through, find your gaps, come on our system, buckle up your shoes, tie up your laces, hit the exam hard. I need you to prove to yourself that you are a boss. I know you are. I'm looking forward to hearing some great news. If you have any friends that can benefit from what I've said, I need you to 1, hit like, 2, share this thing on social media, blow the place up with it. I want you to share this video everywhere because I know that there's someone who is struggling and they need to hear. They need to have some hope. They need to. Someone says, Phil, why are you so passionate about this stuff? Are you a junkie? Are you crazy? What's wrong with you? I'll tell you what's wrong with me. Over a decade ago, I was struggling to get out of the crab barrel. I didn't know what to do. My career was not taking off the way I wanted it to. I had done a master's degree. I had done a dissertation in project management, I was looking forward to some traction, but nothing was happening. Not until one day, my mentor, Mary Hirschner, said, Phil, I think you'll be a great candidate to take the exam. Here are my books, here are my study guides, here's everything. Go study. I think you can do it. She didn't have to. We were working on a government project, and she basically advertised the PMP exam to me. Now, I'd heard about the PMP exam, but I didn't even know where to get started. Mary showed me the ropes, helped me get started, and within a space of 6 months, I had studied the books, I had done everything she asked, got certified, and what happened next amazed me. Companies I was trying to get inroads to work for, I had sent resumes countless times, no doors were opening. Until I got PMP certified, and all these companies began coming out of the woodworks. Long story short, my salary not only doubled, it tripled 300%, even more than that. I was amazed at the world, the unseen world that was available once I got certified. People banging down my door, calling me up for interviews. I went from no figures to 6 figures in the blink of an eye. Truly an enjoyable experience that I want everyone else who has paid blood, sweat, and tears trying to go through this exam, I want them to experience it. You can experience it. Some of you who are certified may say, Phil, I'm not seeing the gold, I'm not seeing the money yet. You will see the money when you can demonstrate value. That's it. 2 things. Getting certified is one, but showing the value of what you know and the difference you can bring to that firm, that is what changes things. So if you're not able to demonstrate in a convincing fashion that you can change the way things are done, or you could bring that extra ammo that people are looking for to move the company from one state to the other, if you cannot do that, then work on yourself. Work on preparing yourself for the next big interview. But PMP plus awareness plus can-do attitude, it just takes you so much further. It's not enough to just have the PMP, okay? It's PMP plus whatever else is needed to get that interview in the bag. Thank you very much for joining me. Again, share this with your friends, and remember to visit the website, praizion.com. I appreciate you joining. All the very best, and bye for now.